Hello. Okay, thank you so much. As the moderator, I hope you will forgive me for keeping us on time. I'm glad that we have until 4, and I'm so honored to be sitting with each and every one of you. Thank you very much. I want to start with Rabbi Jonathan Wittenberg. As a senior rabbi and the founder of EcoJudaism, and someone deeply experienced in interfaith dialogue, you have much to share. To start off, could you please convey some concepts or stories from Judaism that undergird your understanding of the human relationship to the earth? And also, if you could tell us what you love about interreligious dialogue, what makes it the most interesting?
Thank you, Karenna, and it's an honor and it's a joy to be together. And if I think of what the headlines are in the news at the moment, and how across the world I believe all our faiths are being co-opted towards supremacism and often violence, and yet the spirit of the one God runs through them all. When I read Al-Mizan, which you so co-authored, and I can just translate it into Hebrew in my mind as I read, Laudato Si. It so resonates with my own tradition, and when I read your story and what you care about, I have a sense that what we need to go back to is the oneness that flows through all life, bestowing conscious on each of us, which we interpret in our different faith and cultural traditions, which also flows through the trees and the waters and the animals, uniting us in a profound bond that we are too ready to forget. And so being here together, particularly at this challenging time, is most important. And our partnership in working for the well-being of all life beyond the human is absolutely essential. You asked me for a couple of stories from Judaism. So a foundational verse is the 2nd chapter of the Hebrew Bible. God put the human being into the garden. The usual translation of the Hebrew is to work it and keep it. It's not good enough. Work could suggest extractive or exploitative, but the same Hebrew word that means to work, and I bet it's the same in Arabic, means to reverence, to worship, to care for. And when Robin Wall-Kimmerer writes about the honorable harvest, and you speak about gratitude, that's the attitude to the earth we are asked to have. And to keep also means to keep God's commandments, the sense of the presence of the sacred in all life. And when we sense it, we are not just takers, we are recipients of the flow of sacred energy from all things. That's foundational in any Jewish thinking about ecology. I'll jump 1,000 years to a story from the Mishnah, first rabbinic compilation around the year 100 of our era. There's a story of a farmer who owns a field and is removing stones from their land, and they chuck the stones over the fence onto the public highway. And a pious individual comes along and says, "Why are you throwing the stones off land that doesn't belong to you onto land that is yours?" And the man says, "Idiot, this is my land, that is not." The owner of the field is forced to sell up, and afterwards trips over the stones they've put in the public highway. As if to say, really, it's what's shared that is ours. The only problem I have is the story's not true. It's not true because the person who falls over those stones is not the person who put them there.
Yes.
It's the poor of the world. It's other nations. It's the people we don't even notice exist. It's the animals. It's the part of creation we don't care about, and we're prepared to chuck not stones, but our plastic, our rubbish, and the cost of our way of life over the fence as if it didn't exist. And that story, to me, presents the urgency of what we have to work at together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Satish Kumar, I have learned that you became a Jain monk at age 9. And of course, I know that you are now a renowned thinker and writer and practitioner, and also an educator who has forged a path for ecological education. And that you've written, we need to include care of the soul as part of care of the planet. I wonder if you could explain why you say that and share whatever spiritual principles or practices that you think are good teachings.
Okay, thank you. In the Jain tradition, love comes first, and truth comes second. We believe in diversity of truths. Each person have their own point of view. Diversity is good, but love unites. So we can have unity in love and diversity in truth. So even if you have a different religion, different nationality, different points of view in politics, different point of view in economics, but still you can love as humans and as nature. So love is the first principle of Jain tradition, non-violence and love. And then we say that beyond our labels, like I'm a Hindu, you are a Muslim, I'm a Christian, you are Jew, you are a Buddhist, you are Europeans, I'm Americans, you are Indians, you are Chinese, you are Europeans, whatever. Cosmos is our country. Whole planet is our home. Nature is our nationality. And love is our religion. Before I'm a Hindu or Muslim or Christian or Jew or Buddhist, I love. That's my religion. Then I can go to a church or to a temple, to a mosque, to a synagogue, or anywhere I like. But if I have a love in my heart, then that is my true religion. At the moment, we think that the religion is the Bible or Quran or Bhagavad Gita or Torah or whatever. And religion is in the church or mosque or temple. You go to church on Sunday and you say, I love my enemies. I will love my enemies. And then you come out of the church and from Monday to Saturday, you spend billions and billions and billions of dollars and pounds and euros on armaments and weapons and wars and pay taxes and so on. That's not love. That's not cosmos is our country, planet is our home, nature is our nationality, love is our religion. That has to be practiced. At the moment, lots of people have a faith or believe in religion, but many of us don't practice it. So Jain tradition is more about practicing its religion, the spirituality, and not just a kind of belief. So that's how I believe in ecology. The nature is my nationality. At the moment, we treat nature as if only a resource for the economy. And nature inanimate, nature dead, planet is a dead rock. And we say, no, planet is a living being. And animals are living beings. And trees and forests are living beings. They are conscious. And we have to say that nature is not just out there, like mountains and forests and rivers and animals and birds are nature, and we humans are not nature. We are nature. We are made of earth, air, fire, water. So we are conscious. We have a soul. We have a spirit. And nature has soul and nature has spirit. So we are nature and nature alive. So respecting nature, that's the kind of... And so Jain monks will always walk on the path with no treading on the grass. And we have a little brush in our hand to sweep the floor before we put our foot on the floor. So even a minutest minor creature should not be hurt. So love and non-violence is the top principle of Jain religion.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Laura Morosini, am I pronouncing that right? Yes. You're an environmental lawyer and political scientist and public servant who actually worked for this great city, including on the first Paris climate plan. Very impressive. And you are now also the director of the Laudato Si movement in Europe. Could you share a little bit about the concepts and frameworks in Laudato Si and what faith and wisdom tradition they draw on?
Yes, thank you, and thank you all to be here, to be interested in this important topic that is what we do outside comes from what we feel and what we are inside. In Laudato Si means praised be. So these are the words of St. Francis of Assisi, who discussed with the Sultan 8,000 years ago, 100 years ago, when there were crusades, not time of dialogue at that time, but he did that. And so he praised the Lord at the end of his life when he was so sick. And he said, praise be the water, the earth, the rivers, the stars. And this is love. This is words of love. And we call this, Pope Francis in Laudato Si calls this the gospel of creation, the good news of creation. And this is very central in this encyclical. And that's why I brought this rosary. This is a Franciscan toe, and the rosary is to praise each element, the water, the sea, one by one. So to remember that we are siblings. There is this cosmic brotherhood with all being. And if you see nature this way, you cannot act the same way. Act with thinking of nature as a fridge to take all what you need, all what we need, and with no consequence. The second thing I wanted to mention is interconnectedness. Laudato Si stresses the fact that the ecological crisis and the social crisis are one and same crisis. And we have to listen at the same time the cry of the earth and the cry of the poor. And this helps us because it's not just a technical question. There are techniques that can help us, but it's not just a technical question. He says, word is more than a problem to solve. The third thing I wanted to share is the beginning of Laudato Si. It's a humble position towards science. It is so important in this time where sometimes truth is not truth. When there are more videos that claim false things than true things that scientific agreed on. So the Pontifical Academy of Science studied what scientists said, studied IPCC document, and they said, and so Pope Francis said very clearly, the pollution, the biodiversity loss, and the climate change is real. It's not so obvious for many people in the world. It is real, and the anthropic cause is real too. So if we create the problem, we can solve it. And this is something I want to keep just this word of Laudato Si. We know that things can change.
Thank you so much. And Othman, Llewellyn, you are a professional ecological planner, a member of the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, World Commission on Protected Areas and Environmental Law, a Muslim ecological ethicist, and a lead author of Al-Mizan, A Covenant for the Earth, which came out in 2024. Could you please tell us about the concepts or principles from Islam that you find most compelling as guides to action?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Can you all hear me? Okay. Please let me know if I take it too far away, or let me know. I sometimes forget. It's a great honor and pleasure to be here with you all of you. As an ecological planner and as an ethicist, I see ethics from the perspective of ecology. As you know, ecology is the science of how living things interact with one another and with their wider environment. Ethics, in my view, is the study of how humans ought to interact with living beings and with their wider environment. I think that the following are perhaps the most essential hallmarks of the ecological ethos of Islam. First, the ethic of Tawheed, the integrating oneness of God. The Creator is the Lord of all worlds of being. Hence, no created being may be excluded from moral consideration. Second, the ethic of Ihsan, which means works of utmost good, beauty, and excellence toward all created beings. The Quran tells us that God created death and life to try you, which of you work most good. And then the earth is the venue of our trial in working good. The Quran's recurrent refrain is of human istikhlaf, accountability and responsibility in the earth. Istikhlaf fil ard. Its recurrent warning is that we must stop ifsad fil ard, corruption and degradation in the earth, which leads inevitably to our perdition. And it calls us to salvation through islah fil ard, restoration in the earth. These are core themes of Al-Mizan, A Covenant for the Earth, the treatise that I, my co-authors, and the Al-Mizan core and drafting teams wrote under the aegis of UNEP Faith for Earth. In it, we examined the teachings of Islam, the faith of roughly a fourth of humankind, regarding humanity's relations with the earth. Endorsed by the Imam of Al-Azhar and the Muslim Council of Elders, this initiative from the Islamic world is widely seen as comparable to Pope Francis's eloquent encyclical Laudato Si on care for our common home. The two treatises resonate deeply with each other. One, inspired by the example of Saint Francis of Assisi, described by Roman Catholics as the patron saint of ecology. The other, inspired by the example of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, described in the Quran as a mercy to the worlds, meaning that these worlds are all individuals, generations, and species, the worlds of being. Both treatises open with the praise of God as the Lord of creation. Both engage with science, treating faith and reason as mutually enriching. Both focus concern on the victims of climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution, the marginalized communities and countries that are least to blame for these crises. Both call to a radical rethinking of economic policy, turning away from endless growth. Both offer visions of humanity's responsibility to heal the biosphere. And Christianity and Islam are the two largest faith communities with a combined population of 4.3 billion souls, over half of humankind. So the spiritual, ethical, and moral values of these two faith communities have significant potential to help heal the earth. I believe the chief ethical implication of devotion to one God, as framed in the Abrahamic traditions, is that all created beings have moral worth. Indeed, this may be a point held in common among all faiths, each in its own special way, as expressed by the Potawatomi botanist Robin Wall Kimmerer in her axiom, "All flourishing is mutual." We are now on the verge, inshallah, God willing, of setting up Al-Mizan Foundation, comparable to the Laudato Si movement. We have much to learn from Laura and her colleagues, as well as from Rabbi Jonathan and EcoJudaism, from Satish and Schumacher College, from Karenna and the Center for Earth Ethics. And we must collaborate with them and people like them. All faith communities need to collaborate with one another, with scientists, artists, and educators, and with traditional and indigenous peoples to shoulder humanity's responsibility to work good and avert harm in the earth. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It has been so enlightening to hear you all share teachings and stories and concepts, ways of thinking and sensing from these diverse traditions. And this gathering here, as we know, is focused on action. And they have asked us to very much put out there the concrete and specific plans and projects and works that are happening, and to invite people to join them. And I know that that is happening in different ways, perhaps for all of us, and I'm wondering if, without any particular order, each of you would be willing to share something that you're working on and invite people to support or participate in some way.
Okay. As you mentioned, I'm working at Schumacher College, and at Schumacher College, we have two main ideas: ecology and spirituality. Because ecology is a kind of outer transformation, and spirituality is inner transformation. Inner transformation and outer transformation go hand in hand together. You cannot have just social or ecological change without changing your heart, your mind, your consciousness, your belief system. So compassion, kindness, generosity, love, all these values have to be developed at the same time as we develop ecological worldview and so on. So ecology and spirituality, they are the two legs on which Schumacher College can walk. And then in ecology, we say deep ecology. Deep ecology versus shallow ecology. So deep ecology is to see nature having its intrinsic value. The value of nature is not how useful nature is to humans, but nature has intrinsic value. We talk about rights of human rights, but we also need to talk about rights of nature. Trees have rights, rivers have rights, animals have rights, mountains have rights. Nature has rights to live without pollution, without waste, without destruction, and so on. So That's the ecological worldview, where we are all interconnected. We are all interdependent. No one particle can exist by itself. No one electron or proton or atom can exist by itself. We all exist in relationship. And so that's a kind of ecological worldview, that we are all related, we are all connected, we are interbeings. And that has to come from a very spiritual base. And a spirituality and ecology. And ecology also includes economy, because economy means management of the ecosystem. At the moment, what we call economy, it's not economy, it's a money-nomy. We manage money. So economy, ecology go together, and so knowledge of ecosystem and management of ecosystem is the kind of ecology and economy. So that's the kind of outer transformation, and a spirituality, meditation, contemplation, compassion, kindness, love, and we call radical love. I have written a book called Radical Love. And the radical love means that you have to love even those with whom you don't agree. You have to love even those who you don't like. And yet, love is not conditional. You have to practice unconditional love. So, love for all living beings, love for humanity, and love for animals, love for plants, love for oceans and rivers and birds and everything. So that radical love is the kind of inner ecology, and as a social ecology and a natural ecology as the outer ecology. These are the two main principles.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I kind of feel I'm still waiting for anybody to say anything I don't totally agree with, heart and soul. It's very special to be here. Something spiritual, something practical, and something political. There's a story about one of the great mystical rabbis. He's walking with his son, and his son does something I often do, which pull a leaf off a plant as you're walking past. You know, you just put your hands and you pull a leaf. And the father says to his son, "Why are you doing that? How do you know which is more important to God, you or the leaf? Okay, you think you're a human, and that's merely vegetable. But how do you know which matters more to God?"
Yeah.
And I think of that story a lot, about exactly that togetherness. And I think we need to deepen our sense of spiritual kinship. That's the spiritual. Practically, one can despair at the international scene, but one doesn't despair at the local scene. Again and again, wherever I'm in the world, I see local people saying, "This is where I live. No one is taking away my wild spaces. I'm replanting the seagrass. I'm bringing beavers back to Britain. I'm protecting this bird." Why? Because this is where I and my community are, and we love it. And so this act local, and you will find companionship, and you will have a sense of achievement, and enough local equals the beginning of global. And lastly, I want to say, we must not be scared of engaging in the political square.
Yeah.
In the religion is concerned with the public square, its ethics and its politics. And although our roots are in our heart and soul, we must not be scared of engaging at all levels with policy and economic policy makers.
Very good. I agree.
I agree too. Three projects for me too. The first one is it is the season now. That's where we start the Laudato Si online training. So to go further, to know better Laudato Si and what we can do ourselves. We can subscribe to this training. It's for a meeting and some things to read and some things to do, because at the end, everyone is supposed to do an action, at least with 4 people. And now, since 10 years of this training, there are 20,000 people in 100 of countries that are active, are doing action, spiritual action, sustainability action, and advocacy action on the political side. This is very concrete. Laudato Si training. The second project I would like to mention is the eco-conversion of the church structures. Because the eco-conversion of the art is very important of each of us, of course. And that's why I left public policy behind me and say we need to change our heart. Because not the mayor, not the minister, not the president will make us change our consumption. That doesn't mean that laws are not important. Laws are important, but of course the change of the art is important. And so eco-conversion of people is important, but eco-conversion of structures, it's a much more complicated. And it's not enough that everyone is converted to have an ecological structure. It's not the sum of the parts. The global is not the sum of the parts. It's more. And so this needs intelligence and this methodology to change structure. So that's why we work on that on Laudato Si movement, but also we help the Vatican to create a structure that is called Laudato Si Action Platform. And this platform helps all kind of structure from a family, a church, a diocese, a university, a school, all kinds of structure to change to eco-convert, to be more sustainable. Depends, of course, if it's on the north or on the south. Some are focused on heating systems, some are planting trees, some on waste, some, all the topics that we must work on sustainability. And so this platform gathers now 20 million people. It's not a lot well, if you watch the 1 billion, but it's very recent. So there is this global tool for all the world, the Laudato Si Action Platform. And in some countries, national tools, like in France, there is Église Verte, which is very similar. The third and last thing I wanted to mention is finance, my purse. So important, finance. So we cannot do things to love the earth and let our money destroy the earth at the same time. So we have to take care of our money too. And in one of the work of Laudato Si movement is to motivate, and with the Vatican, to motivate all Catholic structure to divest from fossil fuels, so to remove their money to what contributes to the destruction, to change it, and to give this sign that despite some fossil companies still have a lot of fossil projects, this has to change. This has to change, otherwise we know in International Energy Agency said no new fossil project, otherwise we will go beyond the Paris Agreement. So this is this is really concrete, and I'm very proud that 400 Catholic institutions already decided to divest, and this has a very concrete effect, and so concrete that this is mainly North structure, but also the Philippine Bishop Conference, for instance. They decided no investment on fossil fuel and not even any donation from fossil fuel companies. And just the very actual things, the last on this finance question and fossil question is that in 1 month there will be a gathering in Santa Marta in Colombia, supported at Colombia and the Netherlands, and with many countries, and the bishop of all the global south agreed on a document called Manifesto, and they ask to abandon very quickly fossil fuel. And this is a great joy to see that the global south is pushing us. Even in some other northern country, there are some little problems. We have this hope.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Very impressive. For me, let me open with Al-Mizan's opening paragraph. The unutterably vast and glorious cosmos reflects the glory of God, the all-sustaining Lord of the worlds of being that extend beyond our grasp. In its heart, this earth, with its evanescent community of life, of which we are a part, is exquisite beyond all telling, and more precious than mortal human beings can comprehend. For it too reflects the grace and mercy of the Lord of all. Each thing that God has created is a sign of the divine power, wisdom, and grace. And we seek insight, understanding, and guidance from these signs. He has unfolded all things in balance with one another, in need of one another, and all support and benefit one another by divine order and ecological integrity. Nothing is created wantonly, without worth. All are created in truth and for right. And in Islamic law, each has rights on us, that we care for it in reverential awe for its Lord, in compassion unwithheld, and in utmost beauty and good. Now, in light of that conviction, as a protected area planner, I will say, conserve the remaining wildlands of the earth. These rainforests, boreal forests, mountains, steppes, and deserts, polar ice caps, caves, wetlands, lakes and rivers, seacoasts, islands, coral reefs, mangroves, seagrass meadows, open seas, and abyssal seabeds are the last strongholds of the diversity of life on Earth. We cannot live well. Ultimately, we cannot live without them. How many sages like Gautama the Buddha and prophets, Moses, Elijah, John the Baptist, Jesus, and Muhammad, upon them all be blessings and peace, went into the wilderness to encounter the face of the Lord of all being, and returned with revelation. Wildlands are charged with revelation. The signs of God in Islamic terminology. The Haraman are the sacred sanctuaries of Mecca and Al-Medina. I used to live in the highest house on the slopes of Jabal Thawr in the sanctuary of Mecca. In the sanctuary of Al-Medina, Jabal Uhud is a mountain that loves us and we love it, in the words of the Prophet Muhammad, upon him be peace and the blessing of God. We are working with the local planning authorities to protect these and other wildlands in the sacred sanctuaries and to restore their ecological integrity, insha'Allah. Two other protected areas called Hema in Arabic were set up by the Prophet Muhammad, one surrounding the sacred sanctuary of Al-Madinah, the other south of it. And another Hema was initiated by the second caliph, Umar ibn al-Khattab, whose instructions to its manager are recognized as best practice in protected areas today. He said, "Take care, O Hunay, lower your wing over the people. Beware the prayer of the oppressed, for it will be answered. Let enter those who depend on their camels and sheep, and turn away the herds of Ibn Auf and Ibn Affan, for they, if their herds perish from drought, will fall back on their palms and fields, whereas the needy one, if his herds perish, will come to me crying, "O commander of the faithful, it is easier for me to provide them with pasture than to spend on them gold and silver." He didn't have any. Indeed, it is their land for which they fought in the time of ignorance and upon which they embraced Islam. Among the projects which I am currently working on are a proposed World Heritage Site, the bioclimatic refugia of Western Arabia, on Saudi Arabia's tentative World Heritage List. These sites of reliction, endemism, and speciation are the most important terrestrial sites in Arabia to protect in light of global climate change. And another project, a proposed serial World Heritage Site, is the Hemaz of Arabia, a gift from the heritage of Islam.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, we are drawing near the close of our time together, and I must say that I'm moved by hearing from each of you, and especially reflecting, being here in Europe. I'm from the United States of America, and we have a certain orientation toward faith and religion and spirituality there. When I come to Europe, and I'm reminded of the ways in which religions have fought each other so viciously over so many centuries. I find it really striking that in this moment in time that we're in, we do have voices from these distinct religious traditions that are voicing in common the reverence for nature and for the earth, for our common home. One could imagine that this could be the central peacemaking principle for our world, that this could be what unites us and brings us together, that this could be such a life-giving gift from us to all future generations. And I believe that we've heard from here from you all in distinct ways, and from you I hear this erudition and your ecological planning expertise in how you apply it. And Laura, thank you so much for the sense of humility and gentleness that you bring in speaking about science and about the very practical, real gatherings that are coming up, the Fossil Fuel Conference in Santa Marta, the plans for the network that you have. And Rabbi Wittenberg, thank you very much for everything you bring, that sense of conscience and justice, and the way that you call us to remember that collective decision-making and politics is something that we need to not abandon. And Satish, Kumar, you bless us with your wisdom, with your incredible way of communicating about love, and the earth is alive, and we are nature. And the sense of possibility and joy that you bring is just enormously appreciated by all of us. Thank you so much. I know that we would love to hear more, but as it is, I wonder if I might ask for just one word or concept, phrase from each of you, and we'll start this way and go down the line so that we can close in a beautiful way.
Well, thank you. The Quran tells us that the servants of the all-compassionate God are those who walk gently on the earth. And the Prophet Muhammad, upon him be blessings and peace, said that the compassionate are shown compassion by the all-compassionate. Show compassion to those on earth, and he who is in heaven will show compassion to you.
I wanted just to say a word of hope. A few months ago in Rome, we had a conference called Raising Hope, where Pope Leo said we need to move from words to action, and he blessed a piece of iceberg from Greenland. And what makes me hope a lot is this word of the Bible. You quoted Genesis, where God creates all things and say, this is good. And he creates human being, and he said, this is good. So we can be good.
Hope, yeah.
I'm also looking at the word hope. Hope, I think, find allies, act locally. We've seen in Scotland, which I love, land which was bare, now become forest and vital. Find hope, find allies, and act.
I don't need it. My word is beauty. And I would like to sing a song for you. Can you stand up? And I would like you to sing the song after me. I will sing the first, and then you all sing together with me. I walk in beauty before me. I walk in beauty behind me. I walk in beauty above me. I walk in beauty below me. I walk in beauty all around me. The whole world is beautiful. The whole world is beautiful. The whole world is beautiful. Ho! Everyone together. I walk in beauty before me. I walk in beauty behind me. I walk in beauty above me. I walk in beauty below me. I walk in beauty all around me. The whole world is beautiful. The whole world is beautiful. The whole world is beautiful. How? You have not sang properly. Sing a bit louder and join together. Everybody sing together, a bit loudly. I walk in beauty before me. I walk in beauty behind me. I walk in beauty above me. I walk in beauty below me. I walk in beauty all around me. The whole world is beautiful. The whole world is beautiful. The whole world is beautiful. How? Thank you. So, from change now, we all go away home, take one mission in your life, in my life, to create beauty. Beautiful thoughts, beautiful words, beautiful action. Beautiful food, beautiful home, beautiful clothes, beautiful relationship. Beauty should be the guiding principle of life. That's my message for change now. Thank you.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.